Welcome to Chinese History and Mythology.
Hey friends, welcome back to Chinese History and Mythology. Last time we talked about how the situation in the later period of the Three Kingdoms had already begun to lose control on every side. On the eastern Wu side, Sun Chen seized power and threw the government into disorder. He first deposed the young Sun Liang, then brought Sun Shu to the throne. He originally thought Sun Shu would only be a new emperor he could control, but Sun Shu was not a puppet who could be manipulated by others. On the surface, he respected Sun Chen, but in secret, he joined with Ding Feng, Zhang Bu, and others to set up a banquet. When Sun Chen entered the palace to attend the feast, they took the chance to execute him in one move and took back the government of Eastern Wu. On the Shu Han side, when Jiang Wei heard that Sima Zhao was busy with the disorder in Huainan, he thought the inside of Cao Wei must be empty and weak, and that the chance for a northern campaign had arrived. So he raised troops again and attacked Wei. But Deng Ai had already expected Jiang Wei to come. Not only did he set up a tunnel in advance at Mount Qi and launch a night raid on the Shu army's camp, he also competed with Jiang Wei in formations before the battle lines. Although Jiang Wei stayed calm in danger, used the formations passed down by Kong Ming to trap Deng Ai, and took the chance to seize the 9 camps at Mount Qi, this victory did not last long. Deng Ai soon discussed matters again with Sima Wang and changed to a plan of sowing discord to deal with Jiang Wei. They sent Dang Jun into Chengdu with gold, silver, and jewels, where he colluded with the eunuch Huang Hao and spread the rumor that Jiang Wei was about to surrender to Wei. The later Lord Liu Shan believed Huang Hao's words and immediately issued an edict summoning Jiang Wei back to court. Jiang Wei clearly knew something was wrong, but he did not dare disobey the imperial edict, so he could only withdraw his army from the front line. When Deng Ai and Sima Wang saw that the plan of sowing discord had succeeded, they immediately led troops out of camp and prepared to pursue and attack. So this time, as Jiang Wei withdraws, can he safely return to Shu? If Deng Ai and Sima Wang press the pursuit, will the Shu army suffer an even greater defeat? And will Huang Hao's abuse of power in Chengdu become the true hidden danger that leads Shu Han toward destruction? Let's continue the story. In the 10th month of winter, in the 5th year of Jingyao in Shu Han, great General Jiang Wei ordered men to repair the plank roads through the night, organize military grain and weapons, and transfer boats from the water routes in Hanzhong. After everything was ready, he submitted a memorial to the later lord, saying, "I have gone on campaign many times. Although I have not yet achieved great merit, I have already shaken the morale of the Wei army. Now the troops have been maintained for a long time. If they do not fight, they will grow idle, and if they grow idle, they will easily fall ill. Besides, the officers and soldiers have long been eager to try. They are willing to give their lives for the state and build merit. If I do not win, I am willing to accept death." After the later lord read the memorial, he hesitated and could not decide. The minister Qiao Zhou stepped forward and advised, "Last night I observed the signs in the sky and saw that in the region belonging to Western Shu, the general star was dim. I fear this is an unlucky sign. Now the great general wants to send troops again. I fear this campaign will bring more danger than fortune. Your Majesty should issue an edict to stop him." The later lord said, "There is no harm in first seeing how this battle turns out. If there are truly losses, we can make plans then." Qiao Zhou advised him bitterly many times, but the later lord would not accept it. Qiao Zhou had no choice but to return home and sigh. After that, he claimed illness and stopped attending court. When Jiang Wei was preparing to send out the army, he first asked Liao Hua, "This time, when I go on campaign, I swear to restore the Central Plains. Where should we take first?" Liao Hua answered, "After years of war, the army and the people are exhausted beyond measure. Besides, Wei has Deng Ai. This man is full of wisdom and strategy, and he is not easy to deal with. If the general insists on acting alone, I fear it will be hard to accomplish anything, so I do not dare offer advice lightly." After hearing this, Jiang Wei was furious. Back then, the chancellor came out to Mount Qi 6 times for the great righteousness of the state. Now I have attacked Wei many times. Could it be for my own private gain? This time, we will first attack Taoyang. If anyone dares disobey orders, kill him without mercy." So he left Liao Hua to guard Hanzhong. while he personally led the generals and commanded 300,000 troops straight toward Taoyang. The news was quickly reported to the camp at Mount Qi. At that time, Deng Ai was discussing military methods with Sima Wang. When he heard that the Shu army had sent out troops, he sent men to scout. The report said that the Shu army was indeed coming from the direction of Taoyang. Sima Wang wondered, Jiang Wei has many tricks. Could it be that he is pretending to attack Taoyang while really planning to seize Mount Qi? Deng Ai said firmly, no, this time, Jiang Wei truly means to attack Taoyang. Sima Wang asked the reason. Deng Ai said, in the past, whenever Jiang Wei sent troops, he always attacked places where we had grain. Now Taoyang has no grain or supplies. He must have guessed that our main force is guarding Mount Qi, so Taoyang is empty instead. That is why he is going straight for Taoyang. Once he takes Taoyang, he can store grain and fodder there, connect with the Qiang people, and make it part of a long-term plan. Sima Wang asked again, then how should we respond? Deng Ai said, we can withdraw all the troops here and divide them into 2 routes to rescue Taoyang. 25 li from Taoyang, there is a small city called Haohe. It is the throat of Taoyang. You lead one army and hide inside Taoyang city. Lower the flags, silence the drums, open all 4 gates wide, and act according to my plan. I will lead one army and lie in ambush at Haohe. We will certainly defeat the Shu army. After the plan was decided, the 2 each acted according to the plan, leaving only Deputy General Shizuan to guard the Mount Qi camp. Jiang Wei appointed Xiahou as vanguard and ordered him to lead the army straight toward Taoyang. When Xiahou reached the area near Taoyang, he saw no banners on the city walls, and all 4 gates stood wide open. He became suspicious and said to the generals, could this be an enemy trick? The generals said, before our eyes, it is clearly an empty city. There are only some common people who heard the great army was coming and abandoned the city one after another to flee. Xiahou still did not feel at ease, so he rode alone around to the south of the city to examine it. He saw countless old people, weak people, women, and children behind the city, fleeing toward the northwest. Xiahou was delighted and said, it really is an empty city. So he personally charged at the front and led the army into the city. Just as he reached the edge of the Barbican, a cannon signal suddenly sounded. Drums and horns rang across the city walls, banners appeared everywhere, and the drawbridge was suddenly raised. Xiahou was greatly shocked. I have fallen into an ambush. He was just about to retreat when arrows and stones rained down from the city walls. Poor Xiahou, together with 500 soldiers, all died beneath the city walls. Sima Wang then charged out from the city, and the Shu army fled in great defeat. Jiang Wei led the support troops and arrived, driving back Sima Wang, then set up camp below Taoyang city. When he heard that Xiahou had been struck by arrows and killed, Jiang Wei was filled with grief. That night, at the second watch, Deng Ai quietly led troops from Haohe and slipped into the Shu army's camp. The Shu soldiers panicked and lost control, and Jiang Wei could not immediately stabilize the situation. Drums and horns thundered from the walls of Taoyang, and Sima Wang took the chance to charge out again. Attacked from front and rear, the Shu army collapsed. Jiang Wei charged left and right, fighting desperately before he finally escaped. He retreated more than 20 li away and set up camp. After 2 defeats in a row, the morale of the Shu army was shaken. Jiang Wei gathered the generals and said, victory and defeat are common in war. Although we have lost soldiers and generals this time, there is no need to panic. Success or failure depends on this one move. Everyone must remain firm. Anyone who speaks of retreat will be executed at once, Zhang Yi advised. The Wei army has now gathered entirely at Taoyang and Huhe, so Mount Qi must be empty. If the general holds Deng Ai from the front and attacks Taoyang and Huhe, I am willing to lead one army by a roundabout path and go straight to take Mount Qi. If we can seize the 9 camps at Mount Qi, we can then lead the army straight toward Chang'an. This is the best plan. Jiang Wei was delighted and accepted the plan, ordering Zhang Yi to lead the rear army straight toward Mount Qi. Jiang Wei himself led troops to Hohe and fought Deng Ai. The 2 armies faced each other, and Jiang Wei and Deng Ai fought several dozen rounds without a winner, then each side withdrew. The next day, Jiang Wei came again to challenge, but Deng Ai held his troops still and did not move. Jiang Wei ordered his soldiers to curse and provoke them. Deng Ai thought to himself, "The Shu army suffered a major defeat at my hands, yet they have no intention of retreating. Instead, they challenged me again and again. They must have divided their troops to seize Mount Qi. Mount Qi is only guarded by Shi Zuan. His troops are not enough and his planning is shallow. I fear he will not be able to hold it. I must personally go rescue him." So Deng Ai called his son Deng Zheng and instructed him, "Guard this place carefully. No matter how they provoke you, do not easily go out to fight. Tonight, I will lead troops to Mount Qi to rescue it." That night, at the second watch, Jiang Wei was making plans in his camp when he suddenly heard shouts shaking the sky outside the camp, with drums and horns ringing together. Someone urgently reported, "Deng Ai is leading 3,000 elite soldiers in a night attack on our main camp." The generals wanted to go out and fight, but Jiang Wei stopped them. "Do not move lightly." It turned out that Deng Ai was only making a false display of force. After he found out the real situation in the Shu camp, he quietly hurried toward Mount Qi, and Deng Zheng also returned to the city. Jiang Wei said to the generals, "Deng Ai is pretending to make a night attack. In reality, he must be heading to Mount Qi to rescue it." So he ordered Fu Qiang to guard the main camp well and not to underestimate the enemy, while he personally led 3,000 soldiers to support Zhang Yi. Now, Zhang Yi was attacking Mount Qi at this time. Shi Zuan had too few troops, and the camp was about to become impossible to defend. At the critical moment, Deng Ai arrived and charged fiercely into battle. The Shu army was badly defeated. Zhang Yi was scattered from his troops, and his road back was cut off. Just as he was in panic, he suddenly heard shouts of killing rise loudly, with drums and horns filling the air. Men on the left and right reported, "Great General Jiang Boyu has arrived." Zhang Yi seized the chance to rise up again and led his troops back into the fight. The two armies attacked from front and rear and badly defeated Deng Ai. Deng Ai hurriedly retreated into the Mount Qi camp and did not dare come out again. Jiang Wei then ordered the army to surround the Mount Qi camp on all sides. Meanwhile, in Chengdu, the later lord believed the slanderer of the eunuch Huang Hao, indulged in wine and women, and ignored government affairs. Ever since Liu Yan had suspected his wife of having a private affair with the later lord and had beaten her on his own authority, leading to his execution, the court officials had seen the later lord's indulgence and felt much resentment in their hearts. Loyal ministers gradually withdrew, while petty men gained more and more power. At that time, Right General Yan Yu had no battle achievements. Only because he flattered Huang Hao did he gain a high position. When he heard that Jiang Wei had been attacking Mount Qi for a long time without success, he persuaded Huang Hao to advise the court, saying, "Jiang Wei has fought many times without merit. It would be better to let Yan Yu replace him." Huang Hao reported these words to the later lord, and the later lord actually accepted them. He sent envoys 3 times with edicts summoning Jiang Wei back to court. Jiang Wei was attacking the Mount Qi camp when 3 edicts arrived in a single day, ordering him to return with the army. With no other choice, he had to obey. He first ordered the troops at Taoyang to withdraw, then slowly retreated together with Zhang Yi. Inside the camp, Deng Ai heard drums and horns sounding loudly all night and did not know what was real and what was false. At dawn, someone reported, "The Shu soldiers have all withdrawn." They left only an empty camp. Deng Ai suspected there was a trick and did not dare pursue. Jiang Wei returned to Hanzhong and settled the troops. Then he personally brought the envoy into Chengdu to meet the later lord. But the later lord did not hold court for 10 days in a row. Jiang Wei was confused. That day, when he came to Donghua Gate, he happened to meet the secretariat gentleman Shi Zhang, so he asked, "The Son of Heaven summoned me to return with the army. Sir, do you know the reason?" Shi Zhang smiled and said, "Great General, do you still not know?" Huang Hao wanted Yan Yu to gain merit, so he advised the court and had 3 edicts issued in succession to summon you back to the capital. Now, after hearing that Deng Ai is skilled in warfare, the matter has been dropped. After Jiang Wei heard this, he was furious. "I must kill this eunuch." Xi Jing hurriedly advised him, "Great General, you carry Wu Hao's unfinished wish and hold a respected position. You must not act recklessly. If the Son of Heaven becomes suspicious of you, that would be bad instead." Jiang Wei sighed and said, "Sir, what you say is reasonable." The next day, the later lord and Huang Hao were drinking and feasting in the rear garden. Jiang Wei brought several men and went straight into the garden. Someone reported this ahead of time, and Huang Hao hurriedly hid beside a rockery. Jiang Wei came below the pavilion, paid respects to the later lord, and cried as he complained, "I was surrounding Deng Ai at Mount Qi, but your majesty issued 3 edicts in a row summoning me back to court. I do not know what your majesty's intention was." The later lord stayed silent and said nothing. Jiang Wei then reported, "Huang Hao is treacherous and wicked, and he seizes power without right, just like the 10 regular attendants in the time of Emperor Ling. Your Majesty can look to the recent disaster of Zhang Rang and think back further to the chaos caused by Zhao Gao. If you can remove this man early, the order of the court will naturally become clear, and only then can the central plains be planned." But the later lord smiled and said, "Huang Hao is only a small minister who runs errands. Even if his power is heavy, there is no great harm. In the past, Dong Yun deeply hated him, and I never understood why. Why should you take him so much to heart?" Jiang Wei kowtowed and pleaded, "If your majesty does not remove Huang Hao today, disaster and disorder will soon arrive." The later lord said, "Those who love him want to protect him, and those who hate him want to kill him. Why can you not tolerate one eunuch?" After that, the later lord ordered an attendant to call Huang Hao to the pavilion and made him apologize to Jiang Wei. Huang Hao knelt, bowed, and cried, "I serve His Majesty day and night and have never interfered in government affairs. General, please do not listen to rumors and want to kill me. My life is entirely in your hands. I beg you to show mercy." After saying this, he kept kowtowing, with tears running down his face. Jiang Wei was still filled with anger, but he had no choice but to leave. Jiang Wei went straight to see Xi Jing and told him everything that had happened. Xi Jing sighed and said, "General, your disaster is not far away. If you are harmed, the state will be destroyed as well." Jiang Wei asked, "Please, sir, teach me a way that can both protect the state and protect myself." Xi Jing said, "In Longxi, there is a place called Hanzhong where the land is fertile. General, you might follow Wu Ho's example and submit a request to farm and station troops at Hanzhong. First, when the wheat ripens, it can serve as military grain. Second, you can take the chance to control the commanderies of Longyu. Third, the Wei people will be cautious and will not dare attack Hanzhong lightly. Fourth, if you live outside the capital and hold troops in your hands, others will not be able to harm you. This plan can protect you and also benefit the state. It should be carried out as soon as possible." Jiang Wei was delighted and said, "Sir, your words are like gold and jade." The next day, Jiang Wei submitted a memorial to the later lord, requesting permission to go to Tasong to farm and station troops, following Wu Ho's old strategy. The later lord approved it. Jiang Wei returned to Hanzhong and gathered the generals, saying, "I have sent troops many times, but because grain and supplies were not enough, I could not succeed. Now I will lead 80,000 soldiers to Tasong to plant wheat and farm while stationed there as part of a long-term plan. You have fought for a long time and are exhausted. For now, withdraw the troops, store grain, and defend Hanzhong. If the Wei soldiers transport grain across 1,000 li and cross mountains and ridges, they will surely be tired. Our army can strike when they are weak, and we will certainly win." So Jiang Wei ordered Hu Ji to guard Hanshu city, Wang Han to guard Lecheng, Jiang Bin to guard Hancheng, and Jiang Shu and Fu Qian to guard the various passes together. After the arrangements were complete, Jiang Wei led 80,000 soldiers to Tazhang to plant wheat and farm, making plans for the future. When Deng Ai heard that Jiang Wei was farming at Tazhang and had set up more than 40 camps along the road, connected from head to tail like a giant snake, he sent spies to carefully examine the terrain and draw a detailed map of what they saw. Then he submitted it to the court. After Sima Zhao looked at it, he flew into a rage and said, "Jiang Wei has invaded the Central Plains many times, yet we still have not destroyed him. He is truly a great danger in my heart." Jia Cheng said. Jiang Wei has inherited Zhuliang's true teachings, so he is not easy to force back. It would be better to send brave and clever men to secretly assassinate him. That would avoid mobilizing a large army. But Sun Tzu, gentleman of the household for all purposes, said, that is not proper. Now the Shu ruler Liu Shan is lost in wine and women, uses the eunuch Huang Hao heavily, and the ministers all think only of avoiding disaster. Jiang Wei is farming at Hanzhong because he is really trying to avoid disaster. If we send a great army to attack, we will surely win. Why use assassins? Sima Zhao laughed loudly and said, this is the proper reasoning. I have long intended to attack Shu. Now whom should I use? Sun Tzu answered, Deng Ai is a fine general of the present age. If Zheng Hui is made his deputy, the two of them working together will surely succeed. Sima Zhao was delighted. These words match my thoughts exactly. Immediately, Sima Zhao summoned Zheng Hui inside and tested him, saying, I want to send you to command troops and attack Eastern Wu. What do you think? Zheng Hui smiled and said, My lord's intention is not truly to attack Eastern Wu, but to aim at Western Shu, is it not? Sima Zhao laughed loudly. You truly understand my heart. If we are to attack Shu, how should we arrange the campaign? Zheng Hui answered, I long ago expected that my lord would have this intention, so I have already drawn a battle map here. Sima Zhao opened it and looked. On the map, the places for setting up camps, stationing troops, storing grain and fodder, as well as the plans for advance and retreat on each route, were all marked clearly and in good order. Sima Zhao was delighted and said, You truly have the talent of a good general. If I let you and Deng Ai divide the troops and take Western Shu together, how would that be? Zheng Hui answered, The mountains and rivers of Shu are complex, and the roads cross in many directions. It cannot be reached by only one route. Deng Ai should be ordered to take another route, and each army should advance separately. Only then can we succeed. So Sima Zhao appointed Zheng Hui as general who guards the west, granted him the imperial tally and battle axe, and put him in overall command of the troops of Guangzhong, mobilizing the forces of Qing, Su, Yan, Yu, Jing, and Yang provinces. He also sent an envoy carrying the imperial tally to appoint Deng Ai as general who campaigns west, placing him in command of the troops of Longyu and ordering him to set a date with Zheng Hui to go on campaign against Shu. The next day, Sima Zhao discussed the matter of attacking Shu in court. Front General Deng Dun advised, Jiang Wei has invaded the Central Plains many times, and our army has suffered heavy losses. Now our defense is not yet stable. Why should we go deep into the dangerous mountains of Shu and create trouble for ourselves? Sima Zhao was furious. I am raising an army of benevolence and righteousness to punish a foolish ruler. How dare you go against my will? He immediately ordered warriors to drag Deng Dun out and behead him. A moment later, Deng Dun's head was presented below the steps, and all the ministers were shocked. Sima Zhao then said, Since I campaigned in the east, I have spent 6 years putting things in order, repairing weapons and raising armored troops. The preparations are complete. Now I intend to first destroy Western Shu, and then follow the current downstream, advancing by both water and land to swallow Eastern Wu. This is exactly the strategy of first destroying Guo and then taking Yu. I estimate that the troops guarding Chengdu and Shu number no more than 80 or 90,000, the border troops no more than 40 or 50,000, and Jiang Wei's farming troops at most 60 or 70,000. Now I will order Deng Ai to lead more than 100,000 troops from Longyu to hold Jiang Wei in Tazong so that he cannot look east. Then I will order Zheng Hui to lead 200,000 or 300,000 elite troops from Guangzhong, go straight to Luo Valley, and advance in 3 routes to seize Hanzhong. The Shu ruler Liu Shan is foolish and incompetent. If the border cities fall, the people will surely panic. The destruction of Shu can be expected very soon. After hearing this, everyone had no choice but to bow in submission. Zheng Hui received the command as general who guards the west and led troops to attack Shu. He feared that the strategy would be exposed, so he deliberately used an attack on Wu as the excuse and ordered Qing, Yan, Yu, Jing, Yang, and other regions to build large ships. He also sent Tang Zi to Deng Lai and other coastal commanderies to gather sea vessels. Sima Zhao did not understand and summoned Zheng Hui to ask, This time, you are attacking Shu by land. Why are you building ships?" Jiang Wei answered, "If Shu learns that our great army is coming, it will surely ask Eastern Wu for help. I first create the appearance of attacking Wu, so Eastern Wu will not dare move lightly. Within 1 year, Shu can be destroyed. By then, the ships will also be completed, and we can then attack Eastern Wu. Would that not follow naturally?" After hearing this, Sima Zhao was delighted and chose an auspicious day to send out the army. On the 3rd day of the 7th month in autumn, in the 4th year of Jingyao in Wei, Jiang Wei's great army set out. Sima Zhao personally escorted him 10 li outside the city before returning. At this time, West Bureau Clerk Shao Ti quietly said to Sima Zhao, "Now my lord has ordered Jiang Wei to command 100,000 troops to attack Shu. In my view, Jiang Wei has great ambition and a proud heart. He should not hold military power alone." Sima Zhao smiled and said, "How could I not know this man's nature?" Shao Ti then said, "Since you know, why not send someone to share command with him?" Sima Zhao spoke several more words, and only then did Shao Ti's doubts fully disappear. Now, Sima Zhao said to West Bureau Clerk Shao Ti, "The ministers at court all say that Shu cannot yet be attacked because they are afraid in their hearts. If they were truly made to fight a hard battle, they would surely be defeated. Now Jiang Wei can decide the plan to attack Shu on his own, which shows that he has no fear in his heart. Since he has no fear, he will surely succeed in breaking Shu. Once Shu is defeated, the courage and confidence of its people will collapse. A defeated general can no longer speak of bravery, and the ministers of a fallen state cannot plan survival. Even if Jiang Wei has disloyal intentions, why would the Shu people help him? As for the Wei soldiers, after they win, they will want to return home. They surely will not follow Jiang Wei into rebellion. Only you and I know these words. You must never reveal them." Shao Ti bowed again and again in admiration. Meanwhile, after Jiang Wei's great army set up camp, he entered the command tent, gathered the generals, and gave an order. "We must send one great general as the vanguard. When he meets mountains, he must open roads. When he meets water, he must build bridges. Who dares take on this task?" One man answered and stepped forward. "I am willing to go." Everyone looked and saw that it was Su Yi, the son of the fierce general Su Chu. The generals all said, "No one is more suitable than him." Zhong Hui then said to Su Yi, "You are the son of Su Chu. Both father and son have great reputations. Now that all the generals recommend you, you may take the vanguard seal and command 5,000 cavalry and 1,000 infantry to go straight for Hanzhong. The army will divide into 3 routes. You will lead the central route and advance from Zi Valley. The left army will advance from Luo Valley. The right army will enter through Ziwu Valley. These places have high mountains and dangerous roads. You must order the soldiers to level the roads, build bridges, and cut through mountain rock. There must be no obstacle at all. Anyone who disobeys will be dealt with by military law." Su Yi accepted the order and went forward. Jiang Wei then led 100,000 troops and marched day and night. Meanwhile, after Deng Ai received the order to attack Shu in Longxi, he first ordered Sima Wang to stop the Chang people, and at the same time gathered Zhu Zhu, inspector of Yangzhou, Wang Qi, administrator of Tianshui, Qian Hong, administrator of Longxi, and Yang Xin, administrator of Jinchang, each with the troops under their own command, to come and receive orders. The army gradually gathered and became complete. One night, Deng Ai dreamed that he climbed a high mountain and looked out toward Hanzhong. Suddenly, spring water surged out from beneath his feet, and the water rushed upward. After he woke, his whole body was covered in sweat. He summoned his guard Yuan Shao to interpret the dream. Yuan Shao understood the Book of Changes. After hearing the dream, he said, "The Book of Changes says that water on a mountain forms Jian. The Jian hexagram is favorable to the southwest, but not favorable to the northeast. In this campaign, General, you will surely conquer the land of Shu, but there will be many obstacles, and in the future it will not be easy to return." After hearing this, Deng Ai's face became grave, and he felt unhappy in his heart. Before long, Zhong Hui's proclamation arrived, arranging for Deng Ai to raise troops together with him and meet in Hanzhong. Deng Ai then sent Zhuge Su to lead 15,000 soldiers and first cut off Jiang Wei's road of retreat. He ordered Wang Qi, administrator of Tianshui, to lead 15,000 soldiers and attack Hanzhong from the left route. Qian Hong, administrator of Longxi, would lead 15,000 soldiers and attack Hanzhong from the right route. Yang Xin, administrator of Jincheng, would lead 15,000 soldiers and intercept Jiang Wei's rear at Ganzong. Deng Ai himself led 30,000 soldiers and moved back and forth to support them. When Zheng Hui set out, all the officials came outside the city to see him off. They saw banners covering the sun, armor shining cold like frost, and soldiers strong, horses powerful, and the army's presence severe and majestic. Everyone praised and admired the sight. Only Liu Shi, army advisor to the Chancellor of State, wore a slight smile and said nothing. Grand Commandant Wang Xiang saw Liu Shi's cold smile and asked, "On this campaign, can Zheng Hui and Deng Ai pacify Shu?" Liu Shi answered, "Breaking Shu is certain. I only fear that both of them will find it hard to return safely." Wang Xiang pressed him for the reason, but Liu Shi only smiled and did not answer. As soon as the Wei army moved, secret agents had already slipped into Tazhong and reported the news to Jiang Wei. Jiang Wei immediately wrote a memorial and submitted it to the later lord. "Please, Your Majesty, issue an edict ordering Left General of Chariots and Cavalry Zhang Yi to guard Yang'an Pass and Right General of Chariots and Cavalry Liao Hua to guard Yinping Bridge. These two places are most important. Once they are lost, Hanzhong will be hard to preserve. At the same time, an envoy should be sent to Wu to ask for support. I will personally lead the troops at Tazhong and firmly resist the Wei army." At that time, the later Lord Liu Shan had already changed the 6th year of Jingyao to the 1st year of Yanxing and was amusing himself in the palace with the eunuch Huang Hao. Suddenly, he received Jiang Wei's memorial, so he asked Huang Hao, "Now Wei has sent Zheng Hui and Deng Ai to advance with a great army. What should I do?" Huang Hao answered, "This is nothing but one of Jiang Wei's tricks to gain merit. Your Majesty need not take it to heart. I have heard that there is a spirit medium in the palace who worships the spirits and can divine good and bad fortune. Your Majesty may summon her and ask." The later lord listened. In the rear hall, he set out incense, flowers, paper, and candles, and ordered Huang Hao to invite the spirit medium into the palace. The spirit medium let her hair hang loose, jumped barefoot, and then shouted loudly, "I am the earth spirit of Western Chuan. Your Majesty is now enjoying peace. Why should you worry? After a few years, all the land of Wei will belong to your Majesty. There is no need to be concerned." The later lord was delighted and richly rewarded the spirit medium. From then on, he deeply believed her words and no longer listened to Jiang Wei's reports. Every day, he only drank and feasted in the palace. Jiang Wei sent urgent memorials many times asking for support, but Huang Hao secretly held them back, and because of this, the great affair was delayed. Meanwhile, Zheng Hui led the great army toward Hanzhong. The vanguard Su Yi wanted to win the first merit, so he first led troops to Nanjing Pass and said to his men, "Once we pass this barrier, we will be in Hanzhong. There are not many men and horses inside the pass. We can seize it while we have the chance." The generals all agreed and joined together to charge the pass. It turned out that the Shu general guarding the pass, Lu Sun, had long known the Wei soldiers were coming. He had already set hidden troops on both sides of the wooden bridge before the pass, and had also installed the 10-arrow repeating crossbows left behind by Zhuge Liang. When Xu Yi led his troops to seize the pass, they heard the sound of a wooden clapper, and arrows came down like rain. Several dozen Wei riders were shot down, and the Wei army had no choice but to retreat in defeat. Xu Yi reported this to Zheng Hui. Zheng Hui personally led more than 100 riders to go and inspect the place. Sure enough, he saw arrows firing all together. Zheng Hui turned his horse and withdrew. Lu Sun led 500 soldiers and charged down. Zheng Hui hurriedly crossed the bridge, but the layer of earth on the bridge suddenly collapsed, and his horse's hoofs sank into it. He was almost about to fall off the bridge. Zheng Hui had no choice but to abandon his horse and continue on foot. Lu Sun caught up and thrust his spear at him, but the Wei general Sun Kai shot back with an arrow and struck Lu Sun down. Zheng Hui took advantage of the moment and led troops to seize the pass. The Shu soldiers fell into chaos, and Nanjing Pass was taken by the Wei army. Zheng Hui richly rewarded Sun Kai and appointed him protector of the army. After that, Zheng Hui called Su Yi before the command tent and sternly rebuked him. As the vanguard, you should open roads when you meet mountains and build bridges when you meet water. You should focus on repairing roads and bridges. Just now, when I reached the bridge, my horse's hooves sank, and I nearly lost my life. You have violated military orders. According to military law, you should be executed. The generals pleaded for him and said, Xu Yi is the son of the fierce general Su Chu. We hope the commander will pardon him. Jiang Wei said angrily, If military law is not clear, how can I command the others? He still ordered men to behead Xu Yi. All the generals were shocked. At this time, the Shu general Wang Han was guarding Lecheng, and Jiang Bin was guarding Hanzhong. Seeing that the Wei army was powerful, they did not dare go out to fight and could only shut the gates and defend. Jiang Wei ordered, In war, speed is precious. We must not stop here. So he ordered Li Fu of the front army to surround Lecheng and protector of the army Sun Kai to surround Hanzhong, while he himself led the great army straight toward Yang'an Pass. The Shu general guarding the pass, Fu Qian, discussed matters with his deputy general Jiang Shu. Jiang Shu said, The Wei soldiers are many, and their momentum cannot be stopped. Firm defense is the best plan. Fu Qian said, No, the Wei soldiers have come from far away, so they must be tired. Although they are many, they are not worth fearing. If we do not go out of the pass to meet them in battle, Hancheng and Lecheng will surely be lost. Jiang Shu stayed silent and did not answer. Suddenly, a report came that Zheng Hui's great army had already arrived before the pass. Zheng Hui raised his whip and shouted, Today I have led 100,000 troops here. If you surrender early, each of you will be promoted according to rank. If you stubbornly refuse to surrender, then once the pass is broken, jade and stone will burn together. Fu Qian was furious. He ordered Jiang Shu to guard the pass, while he himself led 3,000 soldiers out of the pass to attack. Zhang Hui pretended to retreat, and the Wei soldiers spread apart. Fu Qian took advantage of this and pursued, but he was surrounded by the Wei army. When Fu Qian wanted to retreat back into the pass, the Wei family's banners had already been raised on the pass. He only heard Jiang Shu shouting, I have already surrendered to Wei. Fu Qian was furious and cursed, You ungrateful traitor! How can you face the people of the world? After saying this, he turned his horse back and fought the Wei soldiers to the death. The Wei army attacked from all sides. Fu Qian charged left and right, fighting to the death and refusing to retreat. The Shu soldiers under his command suffered heavy casualties. Fu Qian looked up to heaven and sighed, I was born as a minister of Shu. In death I shall also be a ghost of Shu. Then he charged again. He was struck by several spears and blood stained his robe and armor. His warhorse fell to the ground and he cut his own throat and died. After Zhong Hui captured Yang'an Pass, he saw that large amounts of grain, supplies, and military equipment were stored inside the pass. He was delighted and ordered the three armies to be rewarded. That night, the Wei army was stationed inside Yang'an City when suddenly, from the southwest, loud shouting rose, shaking the ears. Zheng Hui hurriedly came out of his tent to look, but all around, everything was quiet, with no movement at all. The Wei army remained frightened and suspicious throughout the night and found it hard to sleep. At the third watch, the next day, shouting again came from the southwest. Just as dawn was breaking, Zheng Hui sent men to scout. The scouts returned and reported, For more than 10 li around, there is not a single person. Zheng Hui became even more doubtful, so he personally led several hundred riders to patrol toward the southwest. When they came before a mountain, they saw a fierce killing aura, with clouds and mists spreading everywhere and thick fog locking around the mountain peak. Zheng Hui asked the guide officer, What mountain is this? The answer came, This is Dingjun Mountain, the place where Xiahou Yuan died in battle. After Zheng Hui heard this, he felt a deep sadness in his heart and reined in his horse to return. Just as he turned around the mountain slope, a violent wind suddenly rose. Behind him, it seemed as if several thousand cavalry had rushed out, charging toward him with the sound of the wind. Zheng Hui was greatly shocked and urged his horse back to Yang'an Pass. Many officers and soldiers fell from their horses and were injured, but no one was actually killed. Everyone said, We only saw men and horses charging out of the dark clouds, but when they came close, there were no blades or spears. It was only like a whirlwind. Zheng Hui asked the surrendered general Jiang Shu, Is there a spirit temple on Dingjun Mountain? Jiang Shu answered, There is no spirit temple. There is only the grave of Wu Hao Juge. Zheng Hui was shocked and said, This must be Wu Hao showing his spirit. I must personally offer sacrifice." The next day, Jiang Wei prepared sacrificial offerings and personally went before Wu Hao's grave. He bowed 3 times and kowtowed 9 times, offering sacrifice with great respect. After the ritual was complete, the violent wind suddenly stopped, the dark clouds scattered in all directions, and after a light breeze and fine rain, the sky cleared. The Wei army was delighted, and they all knelt to give thanks. That night, Jiang Wei was leaning over his desk and about to sleep when suddenly a clear breeze blew through. He saw a man wearing a crane feather cloak, a silk headscarf, and holding a feather fan walk into the tent. His face was as fair as polished jade, and his manner was graceful like an immortal. Jiang Wei rose and asked, "Who are you, sir?" The man answered, "This morning we met again, and I have words to tell you. Although the land of the Han House has declined, and the will of heaven is hard to oppose, the people of the Tuchuan regions would truly be pitiful if they suffered war without reason. After you enter the territory, do not kill living people recklessly." Before the words had ended, the man swept his sleeves and left. Jiang Wei woke in shock and understood that this was the spirit of Wu Hao Zhuge. His heart was filled with wonder, so he gave orders for the front army to raise white banners, with 4 words written on them: "Protect the state and calm the people." Wherever the army went, random killing was strictly forbidden. The people of Hanzhong came out of the city one after another to welcome them, and Jiang Wei comforted each of them without harming a single person. Meanwhile, Jiang Wei was in Tazhong. When he learned that the Wei army was attacking in great force, he immediately ordered Liao Hua, Zhang Yi, and Dong Jue to lead troops and meet the enemy. He himself also divided his troops and set out his formations to wait. Suddenly, he heard that the Wei army was closing in, so Jiang Wei led troops out to attack. The Wei vanguard was Wang Qi, administrator of Tianshui. Wang Qi rode forward and shouted, "Our army numbers in the millions, and thousands of generals have gone out on campaign. We are divided into 20 routes and are going straight for Chengdu. If you do not surrender early and instead resist us, do you not know that the will of heaven cannot be opposed?" Jiang Wei was furious. He raised his spear and charged straight at Wang Qi. After less than 3 rounds, Wang Qi fled in defeat. Jiang Wei pursued for 20 li. Then he heard gongs and drums ringing together, and another Wei army arrived with a banner that read Qian Hong, administrator of Longxi. Jiang Wei laughed and said, "How could such petty men be my enemies?" He continued to urge his troops forward in pursuit. After another 10 li, Deng Ai led an army into the attack. Jiang Wei and Deng Ai fought more than 10 rounds, with no winner. Suddenly, drums and gongs rose from the rear, and someone came to report, "All the camps at Gansong have been burned down by Yang Xin, administrator of Jincheng." Jiang Wei was greatly shocked. He quickly ordered his deputy generals to set up false banners to resist Deng Ai, while he personally led the rear army through the night to rescue Gansong. He happened to meet Yang Xin. Yang Xin did not dare fight head-on and turned away in retreat. Jiang Wei pursued him closely to the foot of a rocky cliff, when suddenly rocks and logs fell like rain, making it impossible to advance. By the time Jiang Wei turned back, the Shu army had already been defeated by Deng Ai, and the Wei army came surrounding them in great force. Jiang Wei led his cavalry and fought fiercely before he finally broke through and returned to the main camp to defend. Suddenly, a fast horse came to report. Jiang Wei has already broken through Yang'an Pass. Jiang Shu has surrendered. Fu Qian died in battle. Hanzhong has fallen into Wei hands. After Wang Han, the defender of Lecheng, and Jiang Bin, the defender of Hancheng, learned that Hanzhong had been lost, they both opened their cities and surrendered. Hu Ji could not resist and could only flee back to Chengdu to ask for reinforcements. Jiang Wei was greatly shocked and immediately ordered the camp to be withdrawn. That night, Jiang Wei's army reached Jiangchuan Pass. Ahead, one army had already formed its battle lines, and the leader was Yang Xin, administrator of Jincheng. Jiang Wei was furious and charged forward on horseback. As soon as the fight began, Yang Xin retreated in defeat. Jiang Wei shot 3 arrows in a row, but none struck. In anger, he snapped his bowstring and pursued with his spear. Unexpectedly, his war horse panicked and went out of control, and Jiang Wei fell to the ground. Yang Xin turned his horse back and wanted to kill Jiang Wei. Jiang Wei rose with all his strength and thrust out his spear, striking Yang Xin's horse directly in the head. The Wei soldiers arrived and rescued Yang Xin. Jiang Wei was just about to pursue when he heard that Deng Ai's troops were about to arrive from behind. Unable to deal with both front and rear, he had no choice but to gather his troops and prepare to retake Hanzhong. But scouts reported, Zhuge Xu, inspector of Yangzhou, has already cut off our road back. Jiang Wei had no choice but to set up camp against the mountain. The Wei army was stationed at the head of Yinping Bridge. Jiang Wei could neither advance nor retreat, and he sighed deeply. Heaven wants to destroy me. Deputy General Ning Sui offered a plan. Although the Wei army has cut off Yinping Bridge, the troops of Yangzhou must not be enough. If the general goes through Konghan Valley and pretends to attack Yangzhou, Zhuge Xu will surely withdraw his troops to rescue Yangzhou. At that time, the general can take the chance to rush toward Jiangge and hold it. Hanzhong will still have a chance to be recovered. Jiang Wei accepted this plan and led troops into Konghan Valley, pretending to attack Yangzhou. Spies reported the news to Zhuge Xu. Zhuge Xu was greatly shocked and said, Yangzhou is a place our army must defend together. If it is lost, the court will surely hold us responsible. So he hurriedly withdrew his troops and returned by the southern road to rescue Yangzhou, leaving only a small number of soldiers to guard the bridgehead. Jiang Wei advanced 30 li along the northern road. When he realized that the Wei army had already moved, he immediately reined in his horse and turned back, changing the rear force into the vanguard and rushing straight toward the bridgehead. Sure enough, most of the Wei army had already left, and only a small number of soldiers remained to guard the bridge. Jiang Wei broke the defenders, burned the camp fences, and smoothly crossed Yinping Bridge. When Zhu Jieshi heard that the bridgehead was on fire, he hurriedly turned his army back. But Jiang Wei had already crossed half a day earlier, and Zhu Jieshi did not dare pursue again. As Jiang Wei crossed the bridge and advanced, a force suddenly appeared ahead. It was Left General Zhang Yi and Right General Liao Hua coming to receive him. Jiang Wei asked about the situation, and Zhang Yi said, Huang Hao believed the words of the spirit medium and refused to send troops. I heard that Hanzhong was in danger, so I raised troops on my own and came here. Now Yang'an Pass has already been taken by Zhonghui. Hearing that the general was trapped, we came specially to receive you. The three armies joined together and advanced toward Baishui Pass. Liao Hua said, Now we are surrounded by enemies on all sides, and the grain road has been cut off. It would be better to retreat and defend Jiangge than plan a good strategy. Jiang Wei was still hesitating. Suddenly, they heard that Zhang Hui and Deng Ai were leading more than 10 routes of troops in attack. Jiang Wei originally wanted to divide the troops with Zhang Yi and Liao Hua to meet them in battle, but Liao Hua advised, Baishui has narrow ground and many roads. It is not suitable for a hard fight. It would be better to first retreat and defend Jiangge. If Jiangge is lost, there will be no road of retreat. Only then did Jiang Wei accept the plan and lead the troops toward Jiangge. Just as they were about to reach the pass, drums and horns suddenly rang out, and shouts shook the sky. They saw banners spread all across the pass, and an army had already taken control of the gateway to Jiangge. Now, General who supports the state Dongju heard that the Wei army had invaded Shu territory in more than 10 routes, so he led 20,000 soldiers to defend Jiangge. That day, from far away, he saw dust rising into the air and thought the Wei army was attacking. He hurriedly led his troops to guard the pass. Dongju personally went to the front of the army to look, only to discover that the men who had come were Jiang Wei, Liao Hua, and Zhang Yi. He was overjoyed and quickly welcomed them into the pass. After entering the pass, Dongju told Jiang Wei of the suffering caused by the later lord's foolishness and Huang Hao's abuse of power. Jiang Wei comforted him and said, General, there is no need to worry. As long as I am here, I will never allow the Wei army to swallow Shu territory. For now, we will first defend Jiangge, then slowly plan a strategy to drive back the enemy. Dongju said, Although Jiangge is easy to defend, Chengdu has no one guarding it. If the enemy breaks through there, the situation will surely collapse. Jiang Wei answered, Chengdu's terrain is dangerous and difficult. It cannot be taken easily. There is no need to worry. While they were speaking, a report suddenly came. Zhu Xu has led troops to the foot of the pass. Jiang Wei was furious. He led 5,000 elite soldiers and charged down from the pass, driving straight into the Wei formation. He rushed left and right, killing until Zhu Shu was badly defeated and retreated to a camp several dozen li away. The Wei army suffered heavy casualties. The Shu soldiers captured many horses and weapons, and only then did Jiang Wei withdraw the troops back into the pass. Meanwhile, Zhong Hui was stationed 20 li away from Jiangge, and Zhu Jishu came to ask for punishment. Zhong Hui said angrily, "I ordered you to guard the head of Yinping Bridge and cut off Jiang Wei's road back. How could you lose it? And you did not listen to my orders but advanced on your own, only to be defeated by Jiang Wei." Zhu Jishu explained, "Jiang Wei has many tricks. He pretended to attack Yangzhou. I feared Yangzhou would be lost, so I led troops to rescue it. I did not expect him to use that chance to escape. When I reached the foot of the pass, I was defeated by him again." Zhang Hui was furious and wanted to execute Zhu Jishu. Army Inspector Wei Guan advised him, "Although Zhu Jishu is guilty, he is Deng Ai's subordinate. If General kills him, I fear it will damage harmony." Zhang Hui said, "I follow the clear edict of the Son of Heaven and the command of the Duke of Jin in coming here to attack Shu. Even if Deng Ai himself were guilty, he should be executed." Everyone pleaded strongly, and in the end, Zhang Hui only had Zhu Jixu placed in a prison cart and sent to Luoyang for Sima Zhao to decide his punishment. He also took Zhu Jixu's troops under his own command. When the news reached Deng Ai was furious and said, "Zhang Hui and I hold equal offices, and I have guarded the frontier for years, making contributions to the state. How dare he be so arrogant?" Deng Zhong advised him, "If you cannot endure a small matter, you may ruin a great plan. If father becomes hostile with Zhang Hui, it will surely damage the great affairs of the state. It is better to endure for now." Deng Ai listened, but he still held resentment in his heart. He then took a little more than 10 cavalrymen and went to see Zhang Hui. When Zhang Hui heard that Deng Ai had come, he first asked those around him, "How many soldiers has Deng Ai brought?" They answered, "Only a little more than 10 riders." So Zhang Hui lined up several hundred warriors inside and outside the tent as guards. Deng Ai entered the tent, and the two men completed the formal greetings. Seeing that the military display was strict and orderly, Deng Ai felt uneasy, so he deliberately said, "General, now that you have taken Hanzhong, this is truly a great blessing for the court. Now we should quickly decide on a plan to take Jiangge." Zhang Hui asked, "General, what good advice do you have?" Deng Ai refused several times before saying, "In my humble view, we can send one army from the small road at Yinping out of Hanzhong, circle around to Deyang Pavilion, and use surprise troops to take Chengdu directly. Jiang Wei will surely withdraw his troops to rescue it, and General can then take the chance to seize Jiangge. In one move, we will succeed." Zhong Hui was delighted and said, "General, your plan is excellent. Go quickly and return quickly. I will wait here only for news of victory." The two raised their cups and said farewell. After Zhong Hui returned to his own camp, he said to the generals, "Everyone says Deng Ai is capable, but from what I saw today, he is only a mediocre man." The generals asked why. Zhong Hui said, "The small road at Yinping is full of high mountains and steep ridges. As long as the Shu army sends just a little more than 100 men to guard the dangerous points and cut off his road back, Deng Ai's army will all starve to death. I will only take the proper main road. Why should I worry that I cannot break Shu?" So he ordered men to build cloud ladders and set up artillery platforms, focusing entirely on attacking Jiangge Pass. After Deng Ai left Zheng Hui's camp gate, he asked his attendants, "What do you think Zheng Hui's attitude toward me was?" The attendants answered, "From his words and expression, he did not truly agree with General. He was only going along with you in speech." Deng Ai laughed and said, "He thinks I cannot take Chengdu. I will take it and let him see." After returning to his own camp, Shi Zuan, Deng Zheng, and the other generals came forward and asked, "General, what did you discuss with General who guards the West Zheng today?" Deng Ai said, "I offered him a plan with a sincere heart, but he treated me as an incapable man. The reason Zhong Hui was able to take Hanzhong today is that I held Jiang Wei at Tazong. Without that, how could he have had this chance? If I take Chengdu, my merit will naturally surpass his." That night, Deng Ai ordered the whole army to break camp and advance along the small road at Yinping. This road was 700 li from Jiangge, with high mountains, dangerous valleys, and almost no trace of human passage. Someone reported the news of Deng Ai's departure to Zheng Hui, and Zheng Hui mocked him, saying, "Deng Ai is truly foolish beyond measure. He is actually taking such a road of death." On one hand, Deng Ai secretly wrote a letter and sent men on fast horses to deliver it to Sima Zhao. On the other hand, he gathered the generals and said, "I plan to take the enemy by surprise, go straight for Chengdu, and share great merit with all of you. Are you willing to risk your lives with me?" The generals all answered together, "We are willing to obey the general's command and fear no death." So Deng Ai ordered his son Deng Zheng to lead 5,000 elite soldiers without armor. Each man carried axes and chisels. When they met danger or obstruction, they would cut through mountains and open roads, build bridges and repair paths. He also chose 30,000 soldiers, each carrying dry rations and ropes. Every time they traveled a little more than 100 li, he left 3,000 soldiers behind to set up camp and guard the road. After another section, he again left 3,000 soldiers to guard the rear path. In the 10th month of that year, Deng Ai's army set out from Yinping, crossing mountains and ridges, taking only gorgeous and dangerous roads that no one had traveled before. Over more than 20 days, they advanced more than 700 li. Along the way, there were only cliffs and steep rock faces without any human settlement. The Wei army left camps behind as they moved forward, until in the end, only a little more than 2,000 men remained to continue on with Deng Ai. The army came to a high mountain called Moqian Ridge, where even war horses could not climb. Deng Ai dismounted and climbed personally, but he saw Deng Zhong and the road-opening soldiers all crying. Deng Ai asked, "Why are you crying?" Deng Zhong answered, "This ridge is too dangerous. To the west, it is all sheer cliffs, and there is no way to cut a path. All the difficult marching we have done these days may have been wasted." Deng Ai said sternly, "We have already traveled more than 700 li. Ahead is Jiangyu. How can we turn back halfway? If you do not enter the tiger's den, how can you obtain the tiger cubs? As long as we capture Chengdu, I will share wealth and rank with all of you." After hearing this, the soldiers shouted together, "We are willing to risk our lives with the general." Deng Ai first ordered men to lower the weapons one by one with ropes. Then he wrapped his own body in felt and rolled down the slope. The deputy generals who had felt clothing did the same and rolled down. Those who did not tied ropes around their waists and slowly climbed down while holding on to trees and rocks. In this way, Deng Ai and Deng Zhong, together with 2,000 soldiers and the road-opening troops, finally crossed Motian Ridge. Just as everyone finished organizing the ranks, they suddenly discovered a stone tablet beside the mountain road. On it were carved the words, written by Chancellor Wu Haozhuj. The inscription read, "When two fires first rise, someone will cross this place. When two scholars contend, they will soon die by themselves." After Deng Ai read it, he was greatly shocked. He quickly bowed several times before the stone tablet and said, "Zhu Zhiliang was truly a divine man. It is a pity that I could not take him as my teacher in my early years. That is truly a regret." Deng Ai continued forward and found an empty camp on the mountain road. Those beside him reported, "We have heard that when Wu Hao was alive, he once sent 1,000 men to guard this place. But now the Shu ruler Liu Shan has abandoned it." Deng Ai shook his head and sighed. "Now we have only the road forward and no road back. Ahead, Jiangyu City has grain and supplies. We must take it even if we die trying. Advancing gives us a road to life. Retreating is the road to death," all the soldiers said. "We are willing to fight to the death." So Deng Ai led more than 2,000 men on foot and rushed straight toward Jiangyu City through the night. Now Ma Miao, the defender of Jiangyu, had long heard that Eastern Tran had been lost. Although he had made some preparations, he thought the Wei army would surely come by the main road, so he only guarded lightly. He also felt that Jiang Wei's whole army was defending Jiangge, so nothing serious would happen. That day, after Ma Miao finished drilling the soldiers, he returned home and was drinking wine with his wife, Lady Li, by the stove. Lady Li asked, "The border is in danger. General, why are you not worried at all?" Ma Miao laughed and said, "Great affairs are naturally Jiang Boyu's responsibility. How would it be my turn to worry?" Lady Li said, Even so, the city you guard is not a small responsibility. You cannot take it lightly. Ma Miao sighed and said, "The emperor listens to Huang Hao and is lost in wine and women. In my view, the state is not far from disaster. If the Wei soldiers truly come, it would be better to surrender early. Why throw away our lives for nothing?" Lady Li was furious. She spat in his face and said, "You are a man, yet before battle even begins, you already have the heart of a traitor. You have received the state's salary in vain. What face do I still have to see you?" Ma Miao was ashamed and had nothing to say. Just then, a household servant hurriedly came to report, "The Wei general Deng Ai has appeared from nowhere and has led more than 2,000 men into the city." Ma Miao was so frightened that he did not know what to do. He hurried out to surrender, knelt below Deng Ai's hall and cried, "I have long had the heart to submit. I am willing to persuade the people and soldiers in the city to surrender together." Deng Ai allowed this, took in the Jiangyu defenders, and appointed Ma Miao as guide officer for the road ahead. Suddenly, someone reported Ma Miao's wife has already hanged herself. Deng Ai asked about the reason, and Ma Miao told him what had happened before. Deng Ai was moved by Lady Li's loyalty, righteousness, and integrity. He ordered men to bury her with full honors, and personally went to mourn her. When the Wei army heard about this, everyone sighed. After Deng Ai took Jiangyu, he summoned the different armies from Yinping to gather at Jiangyu. Then he went straight for Fu City. His subordinate General Tiansu advised him, "Our army has crossed mountains and ridges all the way here, and the soldiers are exhausted. It would be better to rest for a few days before advancing." Deng Ai was furious. In war, speed is precious, and victory comes from striking where the enemy does not expect. How dare you disturb the morale of the army? He immediately ordered men to drag Tianzu out and behead him. The generals begged bitterly for mercy, and only then did Deng Ai reluctantly spare his life. Deng Ai personally led the army toward Fu City. When the officials and people of Fu City saw the Wei army appear as if they had fallen from the sky, they were all terrified and surrendered one after another. The news was quickly reported to Chengdu. After the later Lord Liu Shan heard it, he was greatly shocked and hurriedly summoned Huang Hao to ask him. Huang Hao still comforted him and said, "This must be a rumor. Divine beings protect your majesty. How could the enemy army reach this place?" The later lord again wanted to invite the spirit medium to divine the matter, but no one knew where the spirit medium had fled. At this time, urgent documents from different places piled up in the court like snowflakes, and messengers came one after another without end. The ministers looked at one another, and no one dared speak. Xi Jing stepped forward and said, "The matter has become extremely urgent. Your Majesty should summon Zhu Zhizhang, the son of Wuhou Zhujiang, and discuss a plan to drive back the enemy." Zhu Zhizhang, courtesy name Si Wang, was the son of Zhu Zhiliang, the later lord's son-in-law, and the heir to the title Marquis of Wuxiang. Because Huang Hao controlled power, he had long claimed illness and stayed away from court. Now the later lord listened to Xi Jing's advice and issued 3 edicts in succession, summoning Zhu Zhizhan into the palace. The later lord cried and said, "Deng Ai has already reached Fu City, and Chengdu is in danger at any moment. For the sake of your father, save me quickly." Zhu Jian also shed tears and said, "My father and I have received deep kindness from the late emperor, and your majesty has also treated me well. Even if my body were ground to dust and my bones were shattered, I could not repay even 1 part in 10,000. May your majesty place all the troops of Chengdu in my hands. I swear to fight to the death." The later lord immediately gave Zhu Jian 70,000 soldiers. After Zhu Jian left the palace, he organized the army, gathered the generals, and asked, "Who is willing to be the vanguard?" Before he finished speaking, a young man stepped forward and said, "Father commands the whole army. Your son is willing to charge at the very front." Everyone looked and saw that it was Zhu Zhisang's eldest son, Zhu Zhisang. Zhu Zhisang was only 19 years old, but he had read military books deeply and had also trained in martial skills. Zhu Zhisang was delighted and appointed him as vanguard. That same day, he led the army out from Chengdu and went straight toward the Wei army. Meanwhile, Deng Ai had received the geographic map offered by Ma Miao. On the map, the mountains, rivers, and roads from Fu City to Chengdu, a distance of 360 li, were all marked in detail. The width and narrowness of the roads, the height and low ground, The dangerous barriers and key points were all shown clearly. After Deng Ai looked at it, he was greatly shocked and said, "If our army only occupies Fu City and does not move, and the Shu army seizes the dangerous points ahead first, we will not be able to advance. If we delay here and let Jiang Wei come to reinforce them, our army will be in danger." So Deng Ai summoned Shi Zuan and Deng Zhang and ordered them, "Lead one army and hurry to Mianzhu through the night. You must seize the key position before the Shu army does. I will arrive soon after. If you let the Shu army arrive first, I will behead you before the banner." Shi Zuan and Deng Zhang accepted the order and went straight toward Mianzhu. Unexpectedly, as soon as the two men reached Mianzhu, they ran into the Shu army. They saw the Shu army arranged in the 8 formations. After the war drums sounded 3 times, the gate flags of the central army parted, and a 4-wheeled carriage slowly rolled out, guarded on both sides by several dozen generals. On the carriage sat a man wearing a silk headscarf, holding a feather fan, and dressed in a white crane feather robe. His bearing was that of an immortal. Beside the carriage, a yellow banner read, "Han Chancellor Wu Ho Zhuge." As soon as Shi Zuan and Deng Zhong saw this, they were so frightened that sweat covered their heads. They turned back and said to the soldiers, "So Kongming is still alive. We are finished." The two did not dare fight and turned around to flee. The Shu army took advantage of the moment and attacked. The Wei army was badly defeated and was pursued for more than 20 li. Just then, Deng Ai arrived with reinforcements, and only then did the two sides each withdraw. After Deng Ai returned to camp, he immediately called Shi Zuan and Deng Zhong over and angrily said, "Why did you flee without fighting?" Deng Zhong lowered his head and answered, "We saw that in the enemy formation, Zhuge Kongming had personally come out to battle, so we were frightened and withdrew." Deng Ai was furious. "Even if Kongming came back to life, I would not fear him. You fled before fighting and damaged the army's morale. According to military law, you should be executed." The generals all pleaded for mercy, and only then did Deng Ai temporarily suppress his anger. Before long, scouts came to report. The commander of the Shu army is actually Zhu Jian, the son of Zhuge Liang, and the vanguard is his grandson Zhuge Shang. The man seated on the carriage was only a wooden statue of Kongming. When Deng Ai heard that Zhu Jian and his son had won 2 battles in a row, he became even more furious. He said to Shi Zuan and Deng Zhong, "Victory or defeat now depends on this battle. If you fail to win again, do not blame me for taking your heads." The two led 10,000 soldiers and came again to meet the enemy. Zhu Shang charged into the Wei formation alone with his spear, full of spirit and courage, and drove Shi Zuan and Deng Zhong back step by step. Seeing the situation, Zhu Shan immediately sent the troops on both wings to charge, rushing straight into the Wei formation. They broke left and right, fought back and forth, and killed until the Wei army was badly defeated, with corpses lying everywhere across the field. Shi Zuan and Deng Zhong were both wounded and fled back in panic. Zhu Shan took advantage of the victory and pursued for more than 20 li, then set up camp and faced the Wei army. Shi Zuan and Deng Zhong returned to camp with their wounds. Seeing that both men had been injured, Deng Ai did not blame them for now. He gathered the generals to discuss matters and said, "Zhu Zhan has indeed inherited Zhuge Liang's ability. In only 2 battles, he has caused our army to lose more than 10,000 men. If we do not remove him quickly, the future danger will be endless." Army Inspector Qiu Ben offered a plan, saying, "Why not write a letter to test him and lure him into surrender?" Deng Ai thought this was possible, so he wrote a letter of persuasion and sent someone to deliver it to the Shu camp. Zhu Zhan opened the letter and saw that Deng Ai praised Wu Hao Zhuge's achievements, then said that the later lord was foolish, that Shu Han's heavenly mandate was already finished, and urged Zhu Zhan to follow heaven and surrender, promising to make him Prince of Langya. After Zhu Zhan read it, he flew into a rage. He immediately tore the letter apart and ordered warriors to behead the messenger, then send the head back to the Wei camp for Deng Ai. When Deng Ai saw this, he was so angry that he slammed the table and rose, wanting to personally go out to fight. Qiu Ben advised him, "General, you must not move lightly. You should set an ambush and use a plan." So Deng Ai ordered Wang Qi, administrator of Tianshui, and Qian Hong, administrator of Longxi, to each lead hidden troops and circle around to the rear of the Shu army, while he himself led the main force to face them from the front. Zhu Jian was just about to go out to fight when scouts came to report, "Deng Ai is personally leading troops here." Zhu Jian burned with anger. He put on his armor, mounted his horse, and led the army into the Wei formation, killing until Deng Ai was driven back step by step. Just as he was pursuing, hidden troops suddenly attacked from both sides at once. The Shu army was trapped in the middle and surrounded by enemies on all sides. Zhu Jian fought with all his strength to break out and had no choice but to retreat into Mianzhu city. Deng Ai took advantage of the situation and surrounded Mianzhu so tightly that no water could pass through. The shouts of killing shook the sky. Seeing that the situation was urgent, Zhu Jian ordered his subordinate general Peng He to break out with an urgent letter and go to Eastern Wu to ask for help. Peng He went through great hardship and reached Eastern Wu, where he presented the letter to the Wu ruler Sun Shu. After Sun Shu read it, he gathered the ministers and said, "Shu is in danger at any moment. How can I sit and watch without helping?" So he appointed the veteran general Ding Feng as commander, with Ding Feng and Sun Yi as deputy generals, and sent 50,000 troops to rush to the rescue. Ding Feng then divided the army into 3 routes, sending Ding Feng and Sun Yi each to lead 20,000 soldiers toward Mianzhong, while he himself led 30,000 men straight toward Shouchan, preparing to rescue Shu. Meanwhile, inside Mianzhu city, Zhu Zhejian waited a long time, but no reinforcements came. He was burning with worry and said to the generals, "It is better to break out than to defend for too long." So he left Zhu Zhisheng and Minister Zhang Zun to defend the city, while he put on full armor and led the army to open the gates wide and charge out. When Deng Ai saw the Shu soldiers move out, he pretended to withdraw the army. Zhu Zhisheng thought the Wei army was retreating in defeat and pursued with all his strength. Unexpectedly, the Wei army had already set an ambush. Suddenly, a cannon signal sounded, and enemy troops came out from all sides, trapping Zhu Zhisheng in a heavy encirclement. Zhu Zhisheng led his army and charged left and right, killing several hundred enemies, but still could not break out. Deng Ai ordered 10,000 arrows to be fired together, and the Shu soldiers scattered and fled in all directions. Zhu Zhisheng was struck by arrows and fell from his horse. He cried out, "My strength is exhausted. I can only die to repay the state." Then he drew his sword and killed himself. On the city wall, Zhu Zhisheng saw with his own eyes that his father had died in battle. Filled with grief and anger, he put on his armor and mounted his horse. Zhang Zun advised him, "Young general, you must not move lightly." Zhu Shang sighed and said, "My Zhuge family has received deep kindness from the state for 3 generations. Now my father has died in battle. If I live on shamefully, what face would I have to meet my ancestors?" After saying this, he urged his horse out and died on the battlefield. Deng Ai admired the loyalty and righteousness of Zhu Zhisheng and Zhu Zhisheng, father and son, so he ordered men to bury them together. After that, he took advantage of the momentum and captured Mianzhu. The 3 generals Zhang Zun, Huang Cheng, and Li Qiu each led soldiers out to fight. They fought with all their strength but could not defeat the enemy, and all died in battle as well. Deng Ai then occupied Mianzhu, rewarded the 3 armies, and continued advancing to attack Chengdu. In this episode, Shu Han truly reaches the edge of life and death. On the Wei side, Sima Zhao officially decides to attack Shu. Zhong Hui leads the main army forward through Hanzhong, while Deng Ai takes the small road through Yinping and launches a surprise attack by a hidden route. Zhong Hui breaks through Yang'an Pass, Fu Qian fights to the death and dies for the state, and the gateway to Hanzhong is thrown wide open. Deng Ai goes even further, crossing Motian Ridge and marching through 700 li of dangerous, empty mountain roads, suddenly appearing around Jiangyu and Fu City, completely disrupting Shu Han's defenses. On the Shu Han side, although Jiang Wei retreats to Jiangge and blocks Zhong Hui's great army, he never expects Deng Ai to secretly cross through Yinping, bypass Jiangge, and advance straight toward Chengdu. Only then does the Chengdu court fall into panic. The later Lord Liu Shan has no choice but to summon Zhu Jian, the son of Zhu Jiliang, and order him to lead troops against Deng Ai. Zhu Jiang and his son accept the command in a moment of crisis and fight Deng Ai at Mianzhu. Zhu Jishang charges bravely into the enemy lines, while Zhu Jizhan also defeats the Wei army several times, even using a wooden statue of Kongming to frighten Deng Zhong and Shi Zuan into retreat. But Deng Ai soon sees through the truth, sets an ambush, and turns defeat into victory. In the end, Zhu Jizhan is struck by arrows and falls from his horse, then kills himself to die for the state. When Zhu Jishang sees his father die in battle, he also charges into the enemy formation and dies on the battlefield. For 3 generations, the Zhuji family ultimately gives its life to Shu Han, but even this can no longer stop the collapse of Shu Han's fate. After Mianzhu falls, Deng Ai's great army is already pressing straight toward Chengdu. Jiang Wei is still guarding Jiangge, Zheng Hui's army is still bearing down from the front, and inside Chengdu, the hearts of the people have already fallen into chaos. So, as Deng Ai draws closer, will the later Lord Liu Shan choose to defend Chengdu to the death, or open the gates and surrender? Far away at Jiangge, can Jiang Wei return in time to rescue the capital and save Shu Han from its final crisis? And will the Shu Han that Zhu Jiliang spent his life supporting finally come to its end at this very moment? We'll continue the story in the next episode.
If you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to give the show a like, subscribe, and share it with someone you think would enjoy it too. Thank you for spending this time with me. I will see you in the next episode.
The sky in light, Nua healed the broken heart. Fuxi traced the world's design. Every age leaves stories bright. Yaya dynasty shaped bronze. Shang dynasty cast oracle bones. Thou dynasty built right. Qin dynasty forged the great walls. Han dynasty opened Silk Road winds. Three Kingdoms dynasty turned war to tales. Jin dynasty led ink and mountains bloom. Sui dynasty carved the Grand Canal. Tang dynasty crowned the world with art. Song dynasty raised learning's flame. Yun dynasty swept the northern plains. Ming dynasty strengthened walls again. Qing dynasty closed an ancient end. Every age leaves stories bright. History and myth ignite in endless light. China's history moves in mystery through the night. Footsteps of this land enchant the world in light. Han dynasty opened Silk Road winds. Three Kingdoms dynasty turned war to tales. Qin dynasty led ink and mountains bloom. Sui dynasty carved the Grand Canal. Tang dynasty crowned the world with art. Song dynasty raised learning's flame.